Good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel. And this is episode 3 of the Doctor Who. Now, before I go into the next Doctor, I just want to go back to the War Games. I got to watch it last night and I was impressed. They did a brilliant job of recolorising it, because originally it was the 10-part story, but they shortened it down, they put in a bit extra things, and they introduced the regeneration of Patrick Troughton into John Pertwee and how it fitted into the next episode of the 70s series. So now we go on to the John Pertwee years, and the difference with this is when it started in 1970. I will tell you what the date. The Spearheads from Space was the first episode, and the Doctor was exiled to Earth. So this introduced us to Unit and Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart. So this was from the 3rd of January to the 24th of January 1970. And this was about robot dummies what come to life that was trying to take over and kill everybody. Now this here brought in a new companion, and that was Liz Shaw for this season. And this was a 4-part episode. Excuse my cough. That was the first one. And we go on to our next story, the Silurians, because later on in the new series you actually get to meet the Autons again, but the Autons turn up in John Pertwee's season as well. So next we were on the Silurians, if I got that right. They find some creatures in the cave. As you can see, the picture of the creatures in a cave, and they was using the energy from the generator and that. And this was the first of 7-part episodes. And this ran from January the 31st to the 14th of March. And this was John Pertwee's second episode. Now, continue, because part of the 70s, all the 70s was done in colour and black and white, because they introduced Doctor into black and white when they brought in John Pertwee. Now our next story is the Ambassadors of Death. As you can see, the ambassadors are spacemen. What happened? The people come back from Mars and they disappear, and these aliens come back to Earth and that. And if they touched anybody, they would kill them. And it's Mars, I can't say the word, on a return journey from Mars, and they was captured by aliens. So this ran from the 21st of March to the 2nd of May 1970, and this was another 7-part episode. And this one is the Inferno. This is our last episode what Elise Shaw was in, because she returned to Cambridge. So this is about 2 times, two separate worlds, same world, but it's split into 2 parts, like. And as you can see, the person touched the liquid and he went like a werewolf. And this ran from the 9th of May to the 20th of June 1970. And that was the John Pertwee's first season. And we bid a goodbye to Liz Shaw. And for the next season, John Pertwee's second season, we was introduced. Now, the Autons, as you can see, the Autons are back. And this is the terror of the Autons. And they introduced to us to a new villain, the Master. There is the Master. And the new companion, Jo Grant. Because at first the Doctor didn't want Jo, because she thought she wasn't right. But then he decided to let her be his companion and that. And as you can see, he was trying to work on the TARDIS and that because he was stranded and he wanted to. Now, at the end of that, the Doctor took the Master's control thing for his TARDIS. So this next one, The Mine of Evil. Now this was set in a prison, what looked like a Victorian castle and that. And the Master was using a machine to control people's, draining the evilness from the people and making this machine, the prison was called Strangemore, and Jo and the Doctor went there to investigate it. And at the same time, the unit was dealing with a very important meeting with people from around the world, and they was trying to ship this dangerous missile, and the Master employed the prisoners to steal the missile. And in the end, the Doctor had to give the Master back his control for his TARDIS so he could leave. And the Mine of Evil, the machine, exploded and killed one of the people who was, lost all his evilness. And that was the end of that. No, I don't think that was the end of that season. That continued our season, because next the Master turned up again with this story, The Claws of Axis, because they came to Earth, wanted to draw the energy from Earth and get their power, and they enlisted the Master to help him. So they, as you can see, there is all sort of creatures and that, and the Doctor got these TARDIS working in a way and ended up in Axis and got out and it exploded, but the Master escaped. Now for our next one. Now, I haven't told you the date. The date on this is March 13th to 3rd of April. And the other one was The Evil Daleks, was the 30th of January to the, if I can see with the light on, the 6th of March. 6th of March, Scott. Oh, this was 13th of March. So our next one is The Colony in Space. Now, this one actually brought the Time Lords into us again. Oh, I forgot, with the Calora Axos, a Time Lord came and told the Doctor about the Master. Sorry for missing that bit about the... So as we continue with this one, what happened that the Master nicked plans for the Doomsday Machine, what was on this planet many millions of... Yes, I think it is. I don't know if it is that one. Yes, it is. Yeah, I've got it right now, because they sent the Doctor's TARDIS to try and stop the Master. Now, this was run from April the 10th to May the 15th, 1971. And this is a colony in space, because there was like a colony, and there was a mining organisation what wanted to mine there. As you can see, their machine, what was pretending to be a monster. And as you can see, the Master. And they destroyed the creatures what was had the power and that. The Doctor destroyed it, and it's all so they returned back to Earth. Now for our next one is the demons. As you can see, it's spelt slightly different. Now this is the one where it was set in a village, and there was a demon who had the power to destroy, and the Master wanted to have his power and that, but the demon didn't want to give it him. He wanted to give it to the Doctor. But what happened at the end, because the demon had grown so big, as you can see the demon in the middle of the picture, he tried. Jo was so innocent. She drawed all the power, and it destroyed the demon. And this ran from May 22nd to June the 18th, and that was the end of that season. Because what happened with the Master, he was captured and they sent him to prison. Now, to start this season, we are introduced to a Dalek story. Now, this is not the Terry Nation. This was written by someone else, but it was a good one, because what they've done a few years back, they made a special edition, and they updated it. They put special effects and made it more, different. And you've got on this DVD, you've got two DVDs, the original version and the special edition version. And this is where the Doctor goes forward in time to find out, because these terrorists come to kill a important person to stop a war. But what actually happened, they actually caused the war. So the Doctor went back in time, and then back to their time, to stop them and to blow up and destroy the Daleks. This was a good one. I've seen it so many times. So continue. That was from between January the 1st and to the 22nd of January 1972. So our next one is the Curse of Paradum or whatever. I don't know if the Time Lords have sent him, because he got the TARDIS working, and the TARDIS fell off a cliff, and he got dragged into a diplomatic situation, because there was deciding to bring this planet into the Federation. And as you can see, the top at the back, some of the people, and the creature on the front. And this was shown from January 29th to the 19th of February 1972. And next, this one is called the Sea Devils, and they go and visit the Master. Now the Master is imprisoned and that, and Doctor and Jo go to the island where he's imprisoned. And lo and behold, the master has got in contact with some creatures called sea devils, as you can see them on the front. And he wanted to help them to destroy Earth. But in the end, the Doctor helped to destroy the creatures and that. And this ran from 26th of February to the 1st of April. And at the same time, the Master escaped. And he fled with his TARDIS. So he was on the run again. Now for the next one. Now, lo and behold, this is called The Mutants, and the Doctor was sent on a mission with a I can't see if they show it, this globe to find someone by the Time Lords. And as you can see, the mutants and that, and on the back you can see more of them. And it was to do with this ship in space, and they was trying to make this planet viable for people to live. And that didn't work out. So this ran from the 9th of April to the 13th of May, 72. Now for our next one is the Master turn up again. Now, there was this machine called Tom Tit, time and something in a place called Newton, and the Brigadier and Sergeant Benson went there, and lo and behold, the Master was behind it, and they tried to stop him, but he got in his TARDIS and left for Atlantis. And how the Doctor stopped him was he had his TARDIS inside the Master's TARDIS to try and stop him. And lo and behold, trying to think of the creature, because he was called, the Doctor pretended to be Professor Fastrus, but that's a myth name for Master. So this was where we didn't see the Master till later on after this story, and this ran from the 20th of May to the 24th of June 1972. Now we come to the anniversary. This is the 10th anniversary of Doctor Who, and this is the 3 Doctors, and all the original 3 Doctors turned up in it. The way they brought in William Hartnell into this story was that he was so not very well. They sat him down and they sort of, he was like in a cube and that, and he couldn't transfer into the TARDIS and that. So he was on the TV screen. So that's how they got him to work with it. And what it was what is his name, man? A black hole they was drawn into. And this Time Lord called, can't see into it, Ominous, who you can see in the middle, was draining power for himself and draining power from the Time Lords. So what they did, they sent his other selves back to help him. But they only could get the second Doctor, but the first Doctor was sort of helping by telling them what to do. So in the end, they destroyed Omina and they made a white hole. And this helped them to the Time Lords forgiven the Doctor and gave him back his powers of time and all his memory and that, and sent in a new dematerialisation unit. That was because it was the 10th anniversary of the Doctor Who series, and this ran from the 10th of December 72 to the 20th of January 1973. So, continue. After the Doctor got his TARDIS working, he went on his first adventure in the TARDIS, well, proper adventure, without the terminology megalin, and this was called the Carnival of Monsters. Now, the Doctor landed on a ship believing it was in the Atlantis, but lo and behold, it was stuck in this machine, and there was all creatures stuck in there. As you can see, one of the creatures, and on the back there was like entertainers, and they kept creatures in there, and some of the creatures got out onto the planet and caused trouble. So in the end, the Doctor, they got his TARDIS out first, then the Doctor got out, went back in and got Joe out, and this ran from 27th of January to the 17th of February 1973. Now, next, this is the very last story we ever saw the Master, Richard, the original Master, excuse my cough, in this episode called Frontier in Space, because after that he had a car accident and he got killed, so that was a great loss. And as you can see, the old what you call it, they are back, and all this is about two races on two different parts of their frontier, and someone else that is the Master and some other people. Lo and behold, the Daleks that turn up at the end was trying to cause a war. So this ran from 24th of February to the 31st of March 1973. And at the end of that, the Doctor went in his TARDIS. He was not too well, he collapsed and that. And he got the time, sent a message to the Time Lords to send him after the Daleks. And this brought us into the story of the planet of the Daleks. This made it like a 12-part episode, because the Frontier in Space was 6 and this was another 6-part. And they met up from the people from I can't think where they're from the planet where the Daleks originated from. So this was a Terry Nation story. So this was about the Daleks making millions of Daleks and keeping them in frozen. And what happened, they destroyed the refrigeration and frozen all the Daleks and that, and the people from the other planet got the ship, the Dalek ship, and went off. And this was made in April, 7th of April to the 12th of May 1973. So, as Joe wanted to go back to Earth, they landed back in Earth, and this is the very last episode where we have Joe Grant, and this is the Green Death. And as you can see, the creatures at the bottom, and this is all about a factory which was piling down this sludge down in the mine and that, and the creatures was turning evil, abandoned mine. So Joe and Doctor went on unit to investigate this in Wales, and the people was global chemistry. So the way Jo went, she met one of the people who was there, who was against it. I can't think of his name, and she went off with him. But the doctor, at the time, before he went to meet him, he went off in the TARDIS to Metaverse 3 to find this crystal. And then at the end, he gave the crystal to Jo as a wedding present. So this was the end of this season, and this was made in May, the 19th of May to 23rd of June 1973. So this was the very last episode of the series, and the very last time we got to meet Jo Grant. So for our next start of the next season, the Time Warrior. And as you can see, that is this is Lynx. The picture of Lynx is can't remember. Well, what it was that Unit and the Doctor was investigating a number of scientists missing from a top search investigation of being kidnapped and sent back to the Middle Ages to help this alien. And it was the first episode what introduced us to Sarah Jane Smith. We will later on, I will do one about Sarah Jane and her adventures, but at the moment we're talking about the Doctor and with Sarah Jane, because she sneaked into the TARDIS, and fortunately it was a play and that, and when they went back to medieval England. So next, as they was trying to come back to Earth, they come to Earth, the invasion of the dinosaurs. Now, this was set in London, and Earth was being invaded by dinosaurs from the past. And there was a group of people what was working on a time thing so they could all go back in time and start a new Earth. Now, the original first part was in black and white because they didn't have the colour version. But there is a colour version of it, and that's. So the Doctor was fighting. It even introduced us to his new ship, his car, as you can see at the bottom and there at the top. So that was our next story. And then the Doctor went off taking Liz on holiday, but they ended up marooned because the TARDIS had lost power, and lo and behold, it's the Daleks, the death of the Daleks. And this is another story written by Terry Nation. This was about a planet what took the power from everybody's ship, and there was Earth people mining for a special ore to save people. And at the same time, the Daleks pretend they wanted it to help some of their people, but I think their idea was to take it and to hold ransom. And at the end, they destroyed the tower and that, and the place where it was all the power from, and all the power came back into the ships. And one of the Earth people destroyed the Dalek ship because the Daleks was going to put a Plague missile and send it in. So for our next one, our last but one, the Doctor goes back to Peridum for the monster of Peridum, many years after his first visit. And this time, the Ice Warriors are the baddies, because before the Ice Warriors was the goodies, good guys. So this is 50 years after his first visit to Peridum or whatever, and the Queen, the King's daughter, is in charge. So Queen, I can't think for a name that. So they help to stop that and stop the Ice Warriors and the miners from striking. And we come to our very last one, our farewell to Jon Pertwee. This is the planet of the spiders, lo and behold. And what happened was, what's his name? Mike Yates had gone to this convent to get his back to, right, because after the thing with the invasion of the Daleks, invasion of the dinosaurs and that, and his involvement with it. So there was something going on, and these people was involved. The one chap got one of these spiders from Metapedes 3. So lo and behold, before that, the Doctor had gone to a theatre and found this chap what had the powers and that. And when he came to them, he thought they wanted him for entertainment, and he said he didn't want. He knew these powers and that, and the Doctor said, "You gave the answer before your helper could tell you." So, in the same line, Joe had sent back the crystal, and he gave it to the professor to have a look before they opened it, because they tried him with his powers, and he looked into the crystal and saw the spiders, and that's how the spiders from Metapedes 3. And in the end, the Doctor had to go back there to take the crystal to give to the main spider for her powers. And it was so powerful, it destroyed her, it drained the Doctor. But at the convent, there was a Time Lord, and he regenerated. And as the Doctor came back to Earth after a long time missing, the monk helped him to regenerate. And this is where the Brigadier and Sarah James Smith actually see the Doctor regenerating into his next carnation. And this ran from May the 4th to June the 6th, 1974. And this was the very last story of Jon Pertwee. He went on to do Wurzel Gummidge, and he did turn up for another special. So we come to the end of the Jon Pertwee years, and my chat about excuse me, his adventures. And if you enjoy this little piece and you want to follow me for more, and for my next story of Doctor Who. Stay tuned, and if you like this, press the notification. That's up to you. That's your choice, and it's up. If you want to, you can carry on following me and press the thumbs up. And I wish you goodbye and be safe in YouTube land and wherever you are. Look after yourself, and I'll say goodbye for now.